everybody. We told you we'd be right back, and here we are, keeping promises. We've got Patrick Aguilar back on stream with the Grixis Death Shadow, and Kyle Koeppe on a green-black mid-range list, featuring
as he will,
featuring my Field of Ruins. So take good care of those, Kyle.
I'm sure he's just gonna riffle the hell out of them.
That's fine.
There's a star in the sky.
All right, so we've got a star up there. Oh, there it is. There's the chromatic star. Let me tell you about this chromatic star. And
does chromatic sphere fall into the same category? Oh, okay.
No, it's just this one. This is Magic the Gathering rules text gore.
Gore?
This is just a disgusting display of how things can go terribly wrong when you're putting together the rules text for a Magic card. So
what's your... I'm listening.
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
All right, so there's a lot of things here that aren't great about this chromatic star.
Sure.
Hold on a second. I think it's the sphere that I want, not the star. After making that big of a deal about it, I'm looking at this.
No, so the sphere is worded differently. Where the sphere, you have to resolve the activated ability in order to draw the card. This card, you can sacrifice this card to an Arcbound Ravager and draw the card.
Yes, pull up the sphere. This is the one that's bad. So they're different.
Yeah, I just explained how they're different.
This is a mana ability that draws you a card that you can't respond to. You cannot respond to the drawing of this card.
You want to keep looking at the screen because your mic changes when you... There you go.
Okay.
Yell at the chromatic sphere.
This chromatic sphere, first off, are they playing Quidditch? What is with this picture? This is just dumb. Why are they chasing this ball?
I think it was part of the... Invasion is when Phyrexia invaded Dominaria.
Right.
And they had to get the Coalition Relic together to defeat... That's how you got the Coalition victory.
Right. So
I think it was part of the Coalition Relic.
So this is basically like an episode of American Gladiators. Here's a good old chromatic sphere.
Yep.
All right, so here's the deal with this. And I've learned about how much this card wrecks my day when I'm playing Lantern over the past, I guess, week that I've been playing Lantern. Not that long. This card got played against me, and I had to read it like a couple times. Like, wait, so you play this, and you just get like a free draw that nobody can respond to.
Right. Very hard to interact with. Impossible
to interact with. It makes me want to play Phyrexian Revoker, I think is the card.
So here's how you can interact with this with the Lantern deck.
Okay.
So if you you're in a situation where you have Lantern, you have like your mill rocks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you activate a mill rock and they want that card, obviously they can pop the sphere and draw that card. Right. But it's the same thing with Chromatic Star.
No, it's not.
Right. If you were to have a second mill rock and they pop the star, you could prevent them from drawing the card. Whereas sphere, they're going to draw it every time.
Yeah, they get that card.
Right. Yeah. So the sphere was printed first, and then they printed the star later. They wanted the same effect, and they realized that this was
a terrible thing that they've done.
Yeah, like the rules text. The rules didn't make sense to interact with this card well.
Correct.
And so they fixed it. So are you advocating for power level errata?
No, I'm advocating for the
banning of that card because it's worded poorly?
No, I think it's just worded poorly. I just want to point out that it's a poorly worded card that uses the rules of Magic the Gathering in a way that was not intended. And they're just stuck with it now.
Yeah, you're advocating. So you don't think they should change the card?
No, they can't change the card. I think that would destroy the integrity of the game if they changed the card.
You realize that Vintage had this argument like 10 years ago with Time Vault?
Yeah, I understand.
Right.
Okay.
I think Rich Shea once said to me one time that he was solely responsible for them unerrating Time Vault. And if you ever get a chance, if you guys ever meet Rich Shea, like, have a conversation with him. He's extra intelligent and very nice.
Yeah.
But
Here's
as
a Gurmag angler.
as the case with most very, very smart people I know,
Yeah.
they're aware of how smart they are, and they won't beat you over the head with it, but they will tell you.
You will know.
Yeah, you will know.
So it'll be interesting to see what Koeppe's plan here is.
Well, all right. Our viewer count went down during that rant.
That's fine. People can run away. I'm afraid of it too.
Listen, if so, our Spotter Monkey is also our content editor, and he's telling us our viewer count just went down. If you want somebody to come sit back here and just say whatever brings your viewer count up, hire somebody else.
Wow. Taylor Gunn is raging against the machine back here.
No, like, I mean, so, like,
Raging against the machine.
I just don't know what to say. Like, we wanted to talk about Chromatic Star, so we did.
Chromatic Sphere.
Chromatic Sphere, Chromatic whatever. And so we spent some time talking about it. Like, all right, sorry, guys. Like,
Sorry, fellas.
I don't know, man.
Not really. I am not actually sorry. So Grim Flayer is an interesting card. It saw a little bit of play. I think it was a one of in Reed Duke's deck.
Yep.
At the Pro Tour. I think that card stock rises a bit with Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah,
It
it's
gives
on the
you-
same page.
Right. It gives you the ability to stack your deck a little bit for Cascade if that's what you want. If you could afford to not fill up your graveyard at the time. Additionally, it's a little more
Is this a
aggressive.
treasure?
Yeah, that's not a clue. That's a
that's not-
treasure,
alright,
but that's
well,
fine.
Kyle has a clue.
We know what it is.
Kyle has a clue about what's going on here.
Man, can you imagine if they reprinted Tireless Tracker except just made treasures on landfall?
That's completely unfair. Well, to be fair,
Unreasonable.
no, think about it. It's not that much worse than Lotus Cobra. Like, Lotus Cobra is very good.
Lotus Cobra that you don't have to spend the mana right away is a little bit different.
Yeah, it's different, but it costs one more.
Listen, you got me. It costs one more. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much worse. It's that much more impressive than Lotus Cobra.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. I think that card would be playable. It would definitely see play.
Okay. Either way, this card's seeing play, and we have to pay 2 to draw these cards. So
Yeah, Tireless Tracker in Modern's fantastic.
Patrick's just waiting to Stubborn Denial, the first thing that comes out of Koeppe's hand. How good is green-black in the face of Jace? Not very. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, you want the more interactive spells. The other card is, like, I think you return back to the Jund decks where they were, like, splitting Terminate and why can't it starts with a D? Dreadbore? Yeah, that was the...
Yeah,
I
I
don't-
could see running Dreadbore. It would be like a one of. Like, you don't want sorcery speed answers to Jace. Just because they're so cleanly answered by, like, counter magic.
Yeah.
And
I just think that, like, if you're applying other pressure, they're gonna have to spend their mana elsewhere.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, they're obviously not gonna play Jason to, like, a full board,
Right.
but hopefully you're applying other, like, if you Bloodbraid Elf, flip a Dreadbore, and they've got Jace on the board, and you just get to target their Dreadbore, then they have to do something about that,
Right.
and then they, you have an opportunity to resolve other types of spells.
Maybe we get to see
Kyle's gonna show us a land and a
Fatal Push.
Push.
Neither of which is going to do much here. Here's a Shadow. He's drawing cards, and he's got this Hissing Quagmire, I believe, on the battlefield. Yeah. Hissing Quagmire there is holding down the fort. And Kyle's just generating advantage. So Patrick does not want this game to go too much longer.
All right, Kyle with a big old grip of cards gets another landfall trigger.
Oh, I think he drew the Fatal Push. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, he's drawn 2 fresh ones.
Yeah.
Hits a landfall trigger, Fatal Push. the Death Shadow. I would send.
Ooh, stubborn denial.
Oh, such a stubborn denial of things. So now you just gotta espuertot. You run that one off. How do you say that?
No, man, you got it. You nailed it.
Underscore games. Gautier, is it like that band Gautier?
I was gonna say I hope not, but I kind of like them. They were refreshing, change of pace.
I was shown that song by like somebody that like I would just never imagine listens to that type of music. And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess we're listening to this song.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Jake's asking, do all shadow variants just play for stubborn? I mean, they can. So you probably go up to 4 stubborn. I don't see a point in making 4 stubborn denials.
Here's the thing. I don't think that the game plan for a control deck changes that much when you add Jace to the mix. They're not jamming it on 4.
Right. It's just like it's their end game now.
Yeah.
Before it was like Celestial Colonnade's going to come in and attack you a couple turns, and if you drew like some way to deal with lands, fine. Now it's just like, all right, well, you don't have anything. Here's this. I win.
Yeah, Jace is just. I mean,
yeah.
Well, like you just have to think about Jace as like Platinum Angel. Like your opponents can't win the game.
It's very difficult. It's possible, but you're right.
Yeah. So when they, then they're able to.
Oh, Field of Ruin with Tireless Tracker. Be still my beating heart.
Yeah, so he could take him off of.
Well, he's got a Scalding Tarn.
Yeah, I already did. So he's. I mean, I don't know how you force him to sacrifice a Scalding Tarn, but...
So you could hit the Blood Crypt. The Grixis Death Shadow deck typically doesn't run any mountains.
Any actual mountains?
Right, so that would force him to get...
Island, and then...
Yeah, 1 island, 1 swamp is it. Confirmed by the Spotter Monkey. Job for a Cowboy is refreshing. Yeah, I will definitely give them a listen. I'm all for some...
Job for a Cowboy?
Yeah. It sounds interesting.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Exactly.
Kyle's just getting so much value out of this Tireless Tracker.
Yeah, this guy's got a clue.
I see what you did there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite clue card that never got played?
Never got played in what?
Like you just never saw it played. Mine's the big blue counterspell that makes 3 clues. Counterspell make 3 clues.
I mean, so like that card got played and limited a bunch.
Sure.
I mean, they all kind of did, but like the one where you investigate when a creature dies, like that had combo potential written all over it, but
right.
A little too expensive, and that's fine.
You should put that in your Brea EDH deck with like March of the Machines.
Isn't it green?
Okay.
And March of the Machines would kill all the clues.
Well, Titania's well, that's the thing. Then a creature died, and you generate more clues, so you just have this infinite creature come into play.
Confirm suspicions. That's what we're gonna do, and investigate 3 times. Yeah, that card was pretty good in limited.
Yeah, I played it in limited when I could, when I was in those colors. Wasn't in love with that sealed format.
And that's the game.
That wraps it up. Kyle with the fatal push on the Death Shadow, and then he was going to attack in with the Tireless Tracker.
Really navigated that one pretty well. There was several points where it felt like he was going to lose it. Here's Ulvenwald Mysteries. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate.
Non-token creature.
And whenever you sacrifice a clue, you get a soldier.
Sure.
Yeah, this card just seemed like a very good engine if there was a grindy deck in the format.
Yeah.
It just turned out that Emrakul the Promised End was a much better grindy engine. So I'd imagine for Kyle here, we're going to fix our removal. I say fix, but we're really going to streamline our removal. Dealing with things like Tassiger and Gurmag Angler here are going to be high order.
Yep.
I think his deck is decently well positioned here. He's going to have to watch out for young Pyromancer out of the board.
Yep.
I don't think he can handle that
Agree.
very easily.
I wonder if he's going to have like a Knight of Souls Betrayal.
I don't know that he wants to be there. Maybe. I mean, he might be on that level.
I mean, so...
It's a great sideboard card, but it doesn't do anything against Gurmag Angler, Tassiger, and Death Shadow, which is the core of the deck.
Right. Yeah, his removal isn't positioned well. Like, Fatal Push only kills Death Shadow.
And Snapcasters. And it will kill young PZs if they come in.
Right. But
yeah.
then like, another part of his removal is Abrupt Decays. And he doesn't have the red to give him access to Terminate, which is like a super clean...
Yeah, you don't want
Gurmag Angler.
You don't want any Abrupt Decays here, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you want those out. The discard spells are still really good.
You think so?
Yeah, there's a lot of enabling that goes on, and there's a lot of... I mean, he's going to have a lot of responsive type cards. Like, I imagine Kolaghan's Command is coming in again in the Death Shadow deck because it helps him recycle his threats.
Yeah.
And so, like... Thought seizing that away on a, you know what I mean? He's going to sit back on it to try and gain the most amount of value. And so if he can thought seize that, it's a good play.
Absolutely. I think Scavenging Ooze obviously out of the board here.
Right.
Shore up some Scavenging Ooze numbers will be pretty decent.
Yep.
For Patrick, it'll be interesting to see how he boards here. I feel like he would board differently here than he would against Abzan. Mostly because a premium is put on Is It Static Caster in the Abzan match.
Sure.
I don't know if we saw any bobs from Kyle. I'm sure they're in there, but interesting to note nonetheless. Is this his hand? No, this is
no,
this
is sideboard plan. He's taking out his discard spells.
Which is smart. You don't want your discard spells here.
Yep. Bringing in Liliana, it looks like.
That's fine. Like, I don't think it does a lot here, but...
It takes the heat off him for a while.
Sure.
Which, could probably buy him enough time to set up Gurmag Angler and Tassiger.
I don't think he's going to have any problem setting up a Gurmag Angler and Tassiger if he's got him. Unless Kyle goes all the way to the next level and just has like a Leyline of the Void here on turn 0.
Sure.
That could be pretty solid. So what's our opinions on the unbannings? Overall, I think it's good. It definitely changes, it definitely shakes things up in the format.
Yeah, I think it changes the way you have to think about the format. So before, it was very a wide format. Is you were selecting your deck based on what you thought the metagame was going to be, and then building your sideboard based on what decks you could beat easily. And, like, you know what I mean? You had these like very long sideboard lists of like, you know, 11 cards, just because like you needed a little something for everybody. Now, I think the metagame is going to be narrower, and I don't mean like 3 decks. I mean like more on the order of 10 to 6.
10 to 6 decks.
Somewhere in that range are going to be like the decks worth playing at a big tournament.
Wow. What do you think do you think it's Jace that's doing that?
Yeah, like it just changes the... I don't know, Jake. I mean, it's nearly impossible to say, but so you have to be able to beat a Jace, and if you were to list like all the decks in Modern now that have made a top 8 in the last 12 months,
sure,
over half of them will be unable to beat a Jace deck, a properly constructed Jace deck. They're just not, you know what I mean? They're not designed for that. And I don't think that many decks are going to be able to adapt to that new environment. So it's fine. Things are going to be fine, but you're going to be honing your sideboard more into a narrower metagame. And so you're going to be able to... Excuse me. You're going to be able... Your predictions will pay off more. Whereas, like, if I predicted what the most popular deck in a metagame would be and I went and played 15 rounds,
Yeah.
I might see it 3 times. And, like, I made a great prediction if I saw it 3 times in 15 rounds.
Oh, sure.
Now, if I predict what metagame is going to be and I go and play 15 rounds, I'm going to see it 6 or 7 times.
Whoa. So that's a lot more narrow than it is now.
Yes, I think it's going to
think-
narrow the metagame.
So I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, at least not right away.
No, yeah, obviously, it's going to take time to figure out what the best Jace deck is.
So
But once you do, that's what's going to happen.
I think Jace is a very powerful card, but I think it's difficult to build a control deck that can reliably get you to that point through these linear aggro decks.
Okay.
So I think that it's still going to be a bit more diverse than what you're thinking,
Uh-huh.
but I definitely see your point.
All right. Kyle with the Treetop Village into the... Is that a Hissing Quagmire?
That is a Blooming Marsh into
Into the Inquisition.
the
Sure.
Inquisition, which nabbed a Snapcaster Mage,
That's a worthwhile Inquisition.
typically where you want to be.
Man, we're getting to see the whole deck list on Patrick here. I guess that's one good thing about having, like, one of the land you want to find.
Yeah. Here's a Blood Crypt untapped. Kyle with 1 green mana open. He's not really worried about anything. Let's see what Patrick can produce. Does he have a Tasker he could run out?
3 in the bin.
Oh, just 3 in the bin. Never mind. Cyclo Street Wraith.
4 in the bin. Here's a Lando. It looks like he has
Down to 10.
Collective Brutality.
Collective Brutality is good.
Yeah.
So him down to 10. Here's some 3/3 Death Shadows. That seems pretty solid. I wonder if he has something to turn on the Stubborn Denial to stop like a double Fatal Push here.
Push. Nope.
Push. Yikes.
Man.
The gamble did not pay off.
Yeah, Kyle is the 1 mana to back up because he didn't get to 4/4 Death Shadows. If he had 4/4 Death Shadows, that Stubborn Denial would be very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you should have waited a turn. I think it was the right play to go off there.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel great, but it happens.
Well, I mean, if he waited a turn, he would have run his Death Shadows into a Damnation. I guess he's got the Stubborn Denial for that then. So here's the Tireless Tracker, which really won Kyle the last game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Patrick's going to try to collect the Brutality here, which is fine.
Yeah, but Kyle's gonna earn 2 clues out of the...
Yeah, so he gets back value. He doesn't get back all of his value because he's going to have to pay mana for...
Yeah, it's gonna cost him mana, but I think what he has is time.
He does have all the time in the world after the double Death Shadow hand met with a double Fatal Push hand. Also in Kyle's hand is a Damnation. So he kind of has that release valve if things get a little too sketchy for him.
All right. And
Oh,
the young Pyromancer to back up that Collector Brutality is awesome.
It is nice. I wonder if he's going to run it out by itself here. That's dangerous. So if you play Young Pyromancer, Collective Brutality, pitch probably the Stubborn Denial.
Right, you don't have
To
anything
kill-
turning that on.
Right. So you get to kill the Tireless Tracker. You get to duress Kyle, But if he has multiple removal spells, you're in bad shape. Oh, and it looks like well, Liliana's not a good removal spell here. I don't know what that last card in his hand is.
So Collective Brutality specifically reads get an instant or sorcery, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Duress is any non-land card.
Sure.
So, we say Duress, and it's just like a quick shorthand, but it's slightly different.
So, Damnation and question mark. He's going to see this Liliana.
Know what he's working with. Shake it fast. Watch yourself.
Oh, it's a land.
Swamp.
All right, so we're getting a Damnation, it looks like.
Yep.
Which is probably what he'd want anyway. And Kyle's going to have enough to play Liliana and still pop a clue, it looks like. Depends on what the draw is there, I guess.
What Kyle could do is Liliana plus and discard the swamp, right?
Well, if you can play the land, then there's no sense in doing that. Liliana's not particularly good on this board anyway.
He can protect the card that he draws. He has Liliana Swamp and the drawn card.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he wants to do.
Hmm.
That's a more direct answer to Young Pyromancer anyway.
Sure. I'm not mad about it.
So much less of a clock here. Of note, Patrick did discard. Oh, he's got another one.
Another one.
Yikes. Can Kyle get another answer? We've got a clue to search for it.
Here we go. Of the Veil. Plus.
Plus is good. It could brick Patrick on a land, which isn't great here.
Well, the big deal is that Patrick can't keep cards in hand now. He can't be responsive.
Right.
And Kyle with Treetop Village in play is going to be able to use that to block. So Liliana goes to 1, and then Patrick has to send Young Pyromancer and the token in.
Unless
next
he has
turn.
an instant sorcery here.
Sure. You'd send 2 tokens in.
Coming at Lily.
Yep.
Play
Liliana of my own.
A Liliana of his own. Discards a Kitchen Finks. That would have been a good one.
Yes. Talk about a card that beats up on Liliana. Kitchen Finks is it.
Attack your Lily down to 1. Dismember your Young Pyromancer. And we've got a good old-fashioned Lily fight.
No, Kyle wins this all day and twice on Sunday.
Twice on Sunday?
Yeah.
That's a lot of Sunday.
Do the math. He's banging in for 3 every turn.
Death Shadow. How does this change the math?
Well, now now Patrick has a blocker. So Kyle's Liliana goes down to 1.
Lily to 1. Here's a 4/4 Death Shadow.
Yep.
We're going to discard.
This goes up to 2.
Didn't see the draw for Kyle.
He's been playing it close to the vest. Plus is the Liliana. So the question is, are the Lilianas important here? I don't think so.
So I don't think Patrick can attack Lily with the Death Shadow if he draws dead here.
Right.
I think he drew a Snapcaster, which is basically the best thing he could draw.
Basically the best.
Now he can definitely attack that Lily with the Death Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a million options. He can Snapcaster, Fatal Push.
Yeah, we're just going to Fatal Push this.
Yep.
Grim Flayer.
Kyle's not dead yet.
His Lily sure is. You can keep it alive, I guess.
Yeah, you block the
I don't think you want to.
You block the token because you can.
Oh, sure.
But I guess Patrick could -2 his own Liliana to destroy the treetop.
But then you're just trading Lily for Lily.
Yeah. So I would have attacked with the token here. That's a sly play.
I think it's worthwhile to keep your own Liliana around. Draws the Field of Ruin. That's not good.
Yeah, and Kyle's just overmatched on board here. It's going to take a lot. A Damnation would put him back in the game.
Damnation that turn would have.
Yeah.
Subsequent turns, not so much. So we could... Let's see, he's got the Scalding Tarn up.
Yeah.
Is he sacking
Yeah,
it now?
Field of Ruin's like not so good here.
Field of Ruin's pretty good, depending on whether he sacks the Scalding Tarn now.
I just don't think it matters. You can't put him off of a mana. Tarn's going to the bin, apparently. He's
All right.
getting a basic.
So now you can hit this Steam Vents.
You know, put him down to 2 blue instead of
3 blue, but
Instead of
just 1
4.
red. And now if he gets another one, he could take him off of red entirely.
Okay.
And so that's not a small deal.
Okay.
And we could potentially even swing in with this Treetop Village at the Lily now if we really wanted to.
You know, all kinds of possibilities.
And then just a single removal spell deals with the Death Shadow if he is willing to trade off.
Yeah, the Liliana went up.
All right, top deck for Kyle.
What do we got?
I think we're going to see an
Plays it
attack
real
first.
close to the vest.
Just to land. That's not good.
All right, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's 5. Kyle going to 6. Makes his next turn the game.
The whole game.
Unless he draws a removal spell here. Kitchen Finks also
Yeah,
legitimate.
Kitchen Finks would be nice. I guess he can always fire up and block with his Treetop Village if he wants to.
Right.
Black.
A creature
A
doesn't
Bob.
do well.
Any cost.
Here's an opt. Pushing it to the bottom.
He was going for that greatness at any cost, and the
I mean,
cost was too great.
one of my favorite things to do in Modern is just let them flip on their Bob.
That's not a good idea. So for the viewers at home,
Don't do that.
Just kill their Bob, man. Just kill their Bob. Or them.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm playing Burn, just like putting them to 2 with an empty hand, like, you got that Bob, go for it, bruh. Because the Jund player has to play it against you.
No, they typically sideboard him out.
No, I know. I'm just saying, game 1, like, if they draw it, they got to put it into play. Maybe that's what I'll do in this new Modern format. I'll rebuild my Rakdos Burn deck.
The old Rakdos Burn.
You have any idea how good Dark Confidant is in a Burn deck?
Yeah, pretty good, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a heater. And you get an extra set of lava spikes.
Yeah.
In Bump in the Night.
So here we're seeing the strength of the Grixis Shadow deck. Not always the absolute best game 1 deck, but a very powerful post-sideboard deck because it gets a lot of different options to shore up a lot of different matchups.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good thing. Do you think it's a survivor after the Jace comes into play?
Absolutely. The dredge creatures get much worse, but the whole premise of the deck is still very strong. And Stubborn Denial is a great clean answer for Jace. And your clock is fast enough to where they don't have a lot of time to set up a turn where they can resolve it.
All right, that makes sense.
They might get to play probably the best Jace answer in their sideboard too.
Which is?
Notion Thief.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how to Google this. But there's a great scene in which Lauren Nolan Notion Thieves Justin Upple.
Yeah.
In the top 8 of an SCG. Like, Upple like, plays this Jace, activates it, and Nolan's like, Notion Thief. Draw 3, you put 2 back on top of your library. No, I mean, Justin's face was just like...
It was priceless. Not as good as the judge's face, though. The judge's face in the background was really good. Spider Monkey telling us that Notion Thief is a human, so that is relevant. Although 4 is a little bit higher than the human decks want to go, it can get there sometimes. Kyle opening up with the Thoughtseize. What do you take here? So it depends on if you have an answer for the Gurmag Angler. It doesn't look like he does.
That's a Notion Thief. It's a human robe.
The Notion Thief. And the 3...
It looks like he took Gurmag Angler, but, you know, we had to look at Notion Thief. I couldn't tell.
I could tell he took the Gurmag Angler.
I have special eyes.
Oh, okay. Sorry about your eyes.
Me too. Me too, I'll tell you that much.
Verdant Catacomb goes down, and here comes the Goyf.
Yeah.
Nice little 3/4.
Spell Snare? Nope. All right. Yeah, Thoughtseize into Goyf is just it's a heater.
It's a classic. These are the pillars of Modern.
That's a pillar of Modern?
Thoughtseize into Goyf? Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Now, if we get Thoughtseize into Goyf into Lily...
Into Bloodbraid Elf?
We're going to build a Pillar of Salt for Patrick.
Into Liliana, the Last Hope?
That would be pretty nice.
Pretty nice one.
How about an Opt? Do we want it? We don't. What do we get instead? A Fatal Push. Nice answer.
So just to touch back on that, not to send everybody running for the hills again, but to touch back on the power level errata where we make cards better by changing the wording.
Yeah.
I am surprised that they printed Opt and just cleaned up the wording on it to say Scry 1.
Yeah. I'm very happy with that.
No, I think it's great, but I'm surprised that that was the outcome. I'm surprised that's what they did.
Was that a decoy Goyf?
Wow.
A decoy? I believe it was. This Bob is big game. Patrick needs to find an answer for that.
So what Kyle's doing here is he is running the whole, like, all right, I've got all these things, and I'm going to play them in order of importance and make you handle them if you think they need handled. So, like, he's like, all right, this Goyf needs handled, so here's my Dark Confidant that's even better on this board.
Yeah, it's very good on this board. Patrick shocking himself. I didn't see a Death Shadow in hand. I believe I saw a Young Pyromancer. I don't know.
I think he's probably going to Collective Brutality, this Bob.
Okay, I can see that. I don't know why we're shocking ourselves to do that. I don't think we have any 1-mana spells, but...
Oh, does he have... Okay. Collective Brutality, discarding Street Wraith, gets the Abrupt Decay and the Bob.
That was good. It was very good. Fired up, send for 3. This is
wow, into the open black mana too. That's
yeah, no fear.
Kyle's got a set of stones on him.
So if Patrick had a Fatal Push, he probably would have just Fatal Pushed the Bob.
Sure. Would he?
Yeah. Lily. Oh, this is
Liliana's off the top, and we have...
Man, Lily's a good answer here.
He drew Dismember, too. Dismember's the card in hand.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if lead with Dismember to force Patrick to do something... You know, if Patrick has Stubborn Denial here, or something, like he gets to play it and get a trigger off the Young Pyromancer.
Well, he gets to play the... Or pay for the Stubborn Denial. So
right, but he still gets the trigger off the Young Pyromancer.
Yeah, it's fine.
And so then I'm just saying if you lead with the dismember, you can
What he's
prevent
trying to
him.
do is to force Patrick to dig for like an opt or something like that, or something he doesn't want to cast right now,
Sure.
in order to prevent that, and then he has the dismember to back up the Lily.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm not smart enough to play these green-black decks. like I think Bloodbraid Elf might make them dumb enough that I can
Just start
I
jamming
can
him.
sleeve one up, but like, I mean, I own a set of Goyfs.
There you go.
I do not own a set of Liliana the Veil. It's a mistake.
They are
Can I borrow some?
pretty important. Yeah, man. If my Lantern deck is still playable, but we'll see how the meta shifts. Man, he would have gotten the opt too. I believe the last card in his hand is a Street Wraith.
I think he's got 2 in hand.
Sure. The other one's an opt.
Okay.
But I think he may be planning on just the hard cast Street Wraith here.
Yeah, Kyle does have a swamp, so Street Wraith is unblockable.
Here's some Swamp Walk for you, bro.
Got me.
Dismember him.
Which member?
This one.
13 for Kyle Koeppe. Play that
No.
card, Kyle. Plus that bad girl. Ooh, who's a bad girl? You are.
Oh man, here's a new breed of Lily fighting. Oh no, sorry, I thought that was Last Hope.
Oh, as a side note, can we quit altering Liliana the Veils to like putting like suggestive clothing on her, etc.?
She already has suggestive clothing on.
I know. I actually was getting stuff signed by this artist, not Liliana's, but other stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey man, I really like the way you draw women. Like, who, you know, do you have like a person that you use as a model, or like what's
That's
your...
it. Kyle takes it down.
Apparently a woman was fixing his motorcycle,
Yeah.
and he was like, hey, do you mind if I sit here and draw, like use you as a reference while I draw this magic art?
Hopefully she got paid a little bit extra.
I don't know what, I mean, that's what I got out of the story. I don't know what the arrangement was.
Yeah, I
But
would
that's
expect him
that's
to be
what he
like, "Yes.
claimed.
Yes, I will let you draw me as a reference, but it will be an extra $35
An hour.
in addition to this motorcycle fixing job that I'm doing.
All right, we got one more round of hot modern action tonight.
We're gonna bring back a hot one.
I'm not going to speak of it at all. I'm going to let John Douglas select it because I've selected 2 tonight that he didn't wholly approve of one of them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
Tron decks.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I think
can
they need to
say?
be online though. All right, come back. Catch us for the final round. We look forward to it.
I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.